Raheem close to a deal? Not from what I've heard. That report that came from from Ian Rappaport was strange. I mean, it's clear that he talked to both Raheem Mostert and the 49ers. He said it. It's a source with the 49ers and Mostert's agent. But then Rappaport comes out on radio yesterday and gives a whole lot of explanation, which seemed to be basically him editorializing the 49ers' point of view. I mean, the whole thing that they cleared the air and that now that they're in a better place, what does that imply? To me, it implies that Raheem Mostert came to his senses, stopped being greedy, lowered his demands. I don't think that's the case. I think Ian Rappaport is creating an impression that may be false. And he's doing it because he probably trusts the 49ers. But if things were in a better place now, why? Have the Niners told Raheem Mostert they're going to give him more? Doesn't seem like it. So the implication is Raheem Mostert has said he wants less? I don't think so. I think he still wants to be paid at least as much as Tevin Coleman and wants some guarantees. I don't think incentives are going to cut it because there's so many ways to prevent a player from getting his incentives. He doesn't choose how much he plays. I mean, why is Raheem Mostert supposed to be excited about a big bonus in his deal if he hits 1,000 yards, if he doesn't even know if he's ever going to start a game or get more than 9 carries on a given week? So that's not good enough. All I feel like is that the Niners are trying to put their narrative out there. And the narrative is, we talked to Raheem, we worked it out. We're not going to give him what he wants, but he sees it from our perspective now. Fans, don't worry. We're going to have our star running back in camp. Don't worry. Based on God knows what. So if Mostert does decide to hold out, which he could, then fans go, well, they said, fans are confused. They're like, well, I thought they cleared the air. I thought they talked to Mostert. I thought they had an understanding. Maybe Mostert's greedy. Maybe Mostert's selfish. Maybe Mostert isn't a man of integrity. Maybe he'll say one thing and do another. Maybe his agent's the problem. That's the narrative the Niners have created around Mostert. So if he does anything other than what they want, he looks like a double-talking, selfish jerk, which isn't fair. I think he has politely asked for what is right all offseason and just held his ground. Didn't ask for too much, just asked for what's right. A couple extra million with some guarantees. And now the Niners, Rappaport's making it seem that he's come to his senses and he'll be cool with just maybe an extra incentive or two. Don't see it. So this is, I'm not questioning Ian Rappaport's integrity. He's clearly talked to some very important people at the 49ers and feels he knows what's going on. But there's two sides of the story here. And if I were Ian, I would definitely call Brett Tessler and ask him to explain their side and see, is Raheem Mostert really feeling closer to an agreement? Does he really feel like he's going to drop his trade request? Because he hasn't. What's he waiting for? If they cleared the air and there's a new understanding between them, then Raheem Mostert should have been like, all right, then. I don't need a trade request. Thanks for explaining it to me. I get it. You're right. I'm wrong. I dropped the trade request. Let's move forward. That's not what happened. Seems like what happened is they brought him in. Mostert got what was ever on his chest off of it. The Niners listened to make him feel, I don't know, acknowledged. And then they said, yeah, we just can't do that, Raheem. We just can't do that. We just gave you a deal. We're not going to give you more money. You're a running back. It just doesn't happen. But maybe, we'll talk about some new incentives down the line. It's like an Office Space. Like, maybe we'll throw you some stock options. Yeah, well, that sounds great. I don't think anything has really changed. Rappaport's trying to make it seem like something crazy happened. That Mostert went in there, the Niners laid it out, and he had an epiphany like, man, I've been selfish. What am I thinking? When really, I just think they're like, all right, Raheem, why don't you come in, tell us how you feel. And he does. And they're like, all right, well, we hear you, but nothing we can do. But we can do this, these tiny little things. So think about it. And Raheem says, okay, well, I still would like what I've asked for. And the Niners say, okay, well, you think about it. This is, I'm guessing. And then they tell Ian Rappaport, hey, we've made headway. Raheem's going to drop his trade demand. Really? It seems like you're trying to speak it into existence. So that's about 7 minutes of me conspiracizing about Raheem Mostert. So I hope you found that fun. And I could be way off, but I usually have a pretty good feel for this business. And remember, these teams are not under oath. The narrative that they spin is a spin every single time, and it serves their purpose. Rappaport has been talking to Raheem's agent the whole time, bro. Yes, but how much has Raheem's agent been telling Rappaport? And I'm telling you, Rappaport could listen to Raheem's agent, and then Rappaport could listen to whoever's leaking things from the Niners, Jed York. You know, Rappaport has done more business with York. He's more inclined to believe York's side of the story. So in his report on KNBR, he's like, yeah, I see Raheem where he's coming from and yada, yada, yada. But I really see where the Niners are. It's like he has a working relationship with the 49ers and basically laid out their side of the story. You know, so I'm going to try to do my best to lay out Raheem's side of the story because I can figure it out. I don't have a problem with Raheem's agent. Raheem's agent is doing exactly what Raheem wants him to do. A lot of people are like, hey, why is Raheem agent being so pushy, or why is he doing this or that? Like, because Raheem wants him to. Because the 49ers have ignored Raheem all offseason. They've tried to be polite and quiet and do it behind closed doors and basically have been shined on. So when the agent goes on Twitter and requests a trade, that's the last resort. And you don't do that if you think the other side is negotiating in good faith. So I don't have a problem with Raheem's agent. He's doing what Raheem wants. Raheem has been polite. He's been reasonable, but he's been firm. And he's been consistent. Feels he wants a raise, and he's earned it and he deserves it. And I agree with him. He's not asking to be paid $8 million a year, but he wants to be paid more than Tevin Coleman, and that's fair. So all of a sudden, Rappaport's making us think that like, oh, maybe he had a change of heart. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. That's not Raheem. That's not the Raheem I know. He's principled, and he's asking for this on principle. So why would he change?